Smackdown, Friday Night Smackdown was pretty interesting. Fall in pretty much the what's going to be the aftermath of WrestleMania 40, which was one of the craziest WrestleManias ever. And ironically, it was also the first time I ever watched a WrestleMania. But a WrestleMania 40, especially towards the end of it, was just absolutely insane. John Cena and The Undertaker both came back. People thought Stone Cold was going to be there, but nah. I think I read an article that he said basically that he didn't want to be one of many. That if it was just going to be The Rock, that he would probably take him on. Instead of being pretty much like The Undertaker and Jey Uso and John Cena coming back. Which I respect him for that, but yeah, it was still crazy though. Cody Rhodes won the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship after one of the greatest, if not the greatest, title runs of all time, where Roman Reigns had the undisputed heavyweight championship, held it for like 1,000+ days. But basically, what happened in SmackDown was to start off the show, Cody Rhodes came out, pretty much expanded on what happened on Monday, when The Rock came out, gave him a present, handed it pretty much literally handed it to him. It was a gift that Cody Rhodes gave to The Rock, which The Rock then gave back to Cody Rhodes, which was really awkward, But yeah, it was crazy. And essentially, what Cody Rhodes said was, if you want, because The Rock said that he was going to come back, he was going to leave for Hollywood for a little while, at least for a couple of months, because he's got a few big movies coming out, Moana 2, and the live-action Moana, which is supposed to come out next year. Moana 2 is supposed to come out this year in November. But that he was going to come back after that for Cody Rhodes and potentially take the championship away from him, which I don't think is going to happen, but he's certainly going to try. But basically, Cody Rhodes said that that if you want me, you know where to find me. I'll be here. Basically, well, I don't know about waiting, but again, if you want me, you know where to find me. Then the next segment that happened in SmackDown was Solo Sikoa came out, and it looks like he's the new tribal chief. Roman Reigns still trying to talk to Paul Heyman as the tribal chief, which, to be fair, he can no longer really call himself that, because he no longer holds the championship. He can't throw his weight around like he could before. Those are the consequences of losing. Those are the consequences of not getting the job done. And Tama Tonga debuted, attacked Jimmy Uso, pretty much replacing him. And the bloodline just looks like a mess right now. Roman Reigns, like I said, he no longer has control of the rest of the family. Solo Sikoa looks to have gone rogue with the upcoming potential debut of Jacob Fatu, which is another one of Solo's and Roman Reigns' cousins. But I think so. Yeah, they're a part of the bloodline, I think. But yeah, Jimmy Uso is no longer in the bloodline. he got stabbed in the back. Rightfully so after what he's done recently, you know. Um, but potentially maybe he'll get back together, or well, maybe he'll link back with Jey Uso, and Usos will make a return. You know, we'll see. But that's certainly a possibility, especially now after what happened. But what else? Then you had two matchups, two triple threat matches to determine the number one contender, basically for the undisputed heavyweight championship against Cody Rhodes. First one included LA Knight versus Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar. It was a no disqualification match, so ultimately Santos was able to have his group of friends come in and try to attack Bobby Lashley and LA Knight, which ultimately did not work because it did distract both of them, but ultimately the Street Profits came out and along with BFAB were able to neutralize the I think it's called Legado del Fantasma. I could be wrong, but yeah, they were able to neutralize them, and as a result, LA Knight took advantage, and which is what you're supposed to do, you know. If you see an opening, you're supposed to take advantage of it and get the job done. And that's exactly what LA Knight did. He ended up picking up the win, and he faced the winner of or was going to face the winner of the main event later on in Smackdown. But then Bayley came out, got a warm reception, rightfully deserved. She's now the championship holder, the women's championship holder, after defeating Io Sky in WrestleMania 40. But yeah, she tried, well, after Naomi basically had her back the last couple of weeks, gave Naomi an opportunity for the championship, which Tiffany Stratton came out, and as we all know, she thinks she's the center of the universe, but then that led to Naomi coming out, and they ended up facing off against each other for the chance at the championship against Bayley, which ultimately Naomi ended up winning. Honestly, what I can say about Tiffany Stratton is she's really impressed me the last few months, ever since not WrestleMania, ever since the Royal Rumble. She has really impressed me. I can't stand her, but I respect her in-ring ability, you know. But yeah, then later on in SmackDown, I don't know why I keep saying the match. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven Chelsea tried to get an easier matchup because she wanted competition, and she got it, you know. Jade Cargill, which is not what she wanted, because Jade Cargill just ripped through her, and it happened again. Chelsea basically wanted an easier matchup, and unfortunately for her, the three general managers of each respective brand are all in agreement that they all hate Chelsea Green, which, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, who wouldn't, you know? She's like a gnat you can't get rid of. But, yeah, she and Piper lost to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and it was quick work for Jade Cargill. It was pretty much around the same amount of time as Braun Breaker destroying Cameron Grimes. He looks to have taken over, and he looks like a real threat, you know. He's just been dominating recently. And he's going to be a problem for the rest of the roster, most definitely. But those two matches, Cameron Grimes and Braun Breaker, and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven and Chelsea, were quick work. Then later on in the night, the main event, the second triple threat match between, which this one included Rey Mysterio, the Hall of Famer, AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens, which ultimately AJ Styles won, and he faces off against LA Knight to determine the number one contender against Cody Rhodes for the Universal, not the Universal, it's not called the Universal Championship anymore, it's the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. But for the chance to face off against Cody Rhodes for that championship. But it's basically going to be another, a rematch of what happened in, a rematch of the match in WrestleMania 40 where AJ Styles and LA Knight faced off against each other, which LA Knight ultimately ended up winning. We'll see if that happens again, but it's definitely going to be a rematch of that, and it's going to happen next Friday Night Smackdown. But overall, it was a really good Smackdown, you know. This is basically going to be the aftermath of WrestleMania 40, also known as, in my opinion, one of the greatest WrestleManias, if not the greatest WrestleMania of all time. But it should be interesting, you know. We're a couple of months away from SummerSlam, which is in August, but and we have two pay-per-views lined up for May. Backlash in France, and King of the Ring late in May in Saudi Arabia. But it should be very interesting, you know, to see what happens, but we'll see. Anyways, this is Samuel signing off, and I will see y'all in my next video.